Welcome, guys. Talkin Ball with Buckeye Rob.
Talkin Ball with Buckeye Rob. Talkin Ball with Buckeye Rob.
Buckeye Rob.
Welcome to Talkin Ball with Buckeye Rob. I am your host, Rob Ashby. With us today, we have the defensive coordinator from Chaminade, Manny Lemus, and our head coach from Village Christian, Mr. Richard Broussard. It's great to be back for another week. High school football is back in Southern California. It's nice. We got a good week 0. Today's show, we will look in, and when we get to the roundtable, we're going to talk about week 0, and then we'll look ahead to week 1. We are going to start out with the Coaches Corner, where we bring in coaches, talk to coaches about their program, their players, their staff, their schedules, their games, whatever we want to talk about their program. Welcome to the show, guys. Appreciate you guys coming in.
Thanks, Buckeye.
Thank you for the invite, Buckeye.
All right, so Coach, how was Friday night?
Dope. It was fun. It was just good to be back out there. Good to get after somebody else instead of each other. We've had a few scrums at our practices lately, because they're just over each other. So it was good to just see another opponent and, honestly, just see where we're at. Spent all this time practicing and preparing. How was your summer? How was the camp going into the season?
Crazy.
It was insane. So school ends. We spent all this time. We had spring ball. We have graduation, and then the day of graduation, I find out that our quarterback, who threw for nearly 3,000 yards and 41 touchdowns, will be leaving us and transferring to another school.
That leaves a mark.
Yeah, it was cool.
How do you pick up from that? You all off season projecting you're going to have him.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're next man up.
Pretty much, yeah. Next man up.
Did you have that next man?
So we're a K-12 school, so we have middle school tackle football. So we had an 8th grader play for our middle school team. So he was the only other quarterback in our program. So he was it.
Next man up, huh?
He was it. Yeah. So to go from middle school tackle football in a developmental league, it's called the Delphic League, to varsity football.
Big change. Big change. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the summer was, with that being said, the summer was fun. It was a lot of seeing, what our culture truly was, seeing how well our coaching staff can prepare a group of kids, and then just seeing that the boys band together and rally around this young kid and each other to have a relatively successful summer.
Well, it seemed like how the first week went, it seems like you stepped up and did pretty well.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was a good opener. It was a good opener, a good game to start with. A team that had just come off a very successful season. So we wanted to see, how we fared. And it was a good game for our young team to get their feet wet.
Okay, yeah, I want to get, before we get to Friday's game, because we got a lot to talk about that game. I want to know, because this is going to be what, your 4th year?
5th. This will be
fifth year. So 2017 was your first.
So 2018.
2018.
2018 was my first season there. Yeah.
And did they have a program in 2017?
So in 2016, my last season at Burbank was their last season at Village. So the 2017 season was canceled. We had a bunch of kids checked out in December of 2016, and then another mass exodus right at the end of school.
So when you showed up in 2018, you had no
8
team.
kids. I had
8 kids.
Wow.
So you had really no team. So you had 8 kids. You couldn't even field a team.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, what do you do from there? What was your process to develop a team, to get kids to come in, to get kids to play who actually were at Village Christian? What was your process?
The first thing I did was hire coaches. I had to hire a staff. And I hired the best staff I think I ever could in a short amount of time. So I hired our O-line coach was Todd McNair. Todd McNair was the running back coach at USC, and had been coaching at Pasadena High School, had been coaching for the Pasadena Trojans, and wanted a change of scenery. And we talked. We had like a 2-hour conversation, and then he called me the next day and said, "Man, I want to work with you."
That had to feel pretty good.
So fun fact: when he was at SC, Pete Carroll used to have the USC. The Nike camp, so the Nike coaches clinics, right?
Yep.
And it was one of the first clinics I went to when I finally decided I wanted to coach again back in 08. And I was in the breakout session for the running backs because that was what I coached. And T-Mac was the guy I was just enamored by.
Yeah.
So I've been a fan of his from that long. And it's dope how our paths were able to cross just by happenstance. We know the same person. The quarterback coach I hired, Anton Clarkson. So it was crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You flipped the switch. He was in charge at the clinic. Now you're in charge at at the school, and he's wanting to work for you. That's got to feel good for you.
It's huge.
So as you developed the program, I mean, that first year, how many guys did you have?
So we went from 8 in our first day in the weight room, like the first day January morning, and I was just walking around, just trying to find kids to come out, recruiting the other sports. It's a small school, so everyone plays everything. We ended up getting 18 seniors to come out, plus a bunch of youngsters. So we filled a roster of about 36 kids.
So up from 8. That's a good for 1 year. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, and we our head of schools, Tom Conjoint, asked me if we wanted to do JV, and I was like, well, I mean, you got all these kids. They had a group of kids. A lot of the 6 of those 8 kids stuck around and didn't transfer, right?
Yes.
And they coached middle school football, so they were truly fully invested in the program. So I couldn't just say, yeah, we're going to do JV and say no, sorry to the guys who stuck it out and kept the program afloat. So I said, we're just going to bite the bullet and figure it out.
Yeah.
We had 36 kids on that team. We had like a Division I lacrosse player, the head of school's son, a Division I rugby player who's at West Point right now, an actor kid who was trying to find roles in football, said he wanted to come out. A random volleyball kid, some baseball kids, a freshman quarterback, Sam Faulkner, who's now a wide receiver at Iowa Wesleyan, and we just figured it out.
Did most of those freshmen that came in that first year, did they play the 4 years?
So of the freshmen who played, we had Elijah Lee, who's at Iowa Wesleyan, Sam Faulkner, who was also at Iowa Wesleyan on scholarship, and then our center, Evan Lewis. Those were the 3 who stuck it out.
Okay. Yeah, but you're developing. They're going to play college football. That's usually you're doing something right.
I mean, yeah, and I mean it's hard. It's hard to play varsity football as a freshman.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So that year, you guys were 6-4, right?
6-4.
6-4, 2-2 in the Olympic League.
We a blocked field goal away from making the playoffs against Maranatha and LeVar Arrington.
Oh, okay, all right. So there he is again. All right. So 2019 comes around. Did you guys step back? You guys went 2-8. You were 1-3 in the league.
So basically, we went from rebuilding to rebuilding. You graduate all these seniors.
Yeah.
All right.
So you got to redo a whole team.
All right. So we had middle school football. We had a team that won the championship in the middle school league. We beat Harvard Westlake and Oaks and all those teams. And we were able to bring about 12 of those kids up. So we fielded a team of 33. We started 8 freshmen that year. We got a transfer in from Cleveland High School, Jalen McFall, and we grabbed a kid off the basketball court, Amari Pouncey, who had never played football for real. They both ended up going to New Mexico State out of Village Christian, and it was our quarterback's sophomore year. So basically a JV team with a couple D1 cats and a sophomore quarterback.
Playing varsity football.
Yeah, and it was fun because all those freshmen are seniors now. And most of them stuck it out.
So the next year is COVID year, and you guys go 2-2 and you just play league games.
Yes.
But I'm not going to say COVID might have helped you out, but did COVID help you out with that?
COVID changed our program.
Yeah.
COVID is the key to why we're anything today. We figured out what hard work looks like. We figured out how to overcome adversity. We figured out what our culture truly is, because we were blessed to be able to train. Yeah. So we would take our weight room outside every single day and lift the weights and run around because our school allowed it. And they just set up protocols and procedures for us to follow, and it was the key.
It was an advantage, because it gave your guys time to develop and
definitely
become what they became. Because in 2021, you come back last year and you guys are 9-2 and you make the playoffs for the first time.
Yeah, we make the playoffs for the first time since 2013 for the school, winning a season since like 2012. We definitely put it together that season for sure.
So I got you you were 19-16 in the Olympic League.
Yep.
And 8-8 in the league.
Yep.
So my question, before we I'm going to say, what happened to the Olympic League? How did you get to the Ironwood League this year? What happened there? Most of the teams are in.
I woke up one morning and they said you're in a new league. No. So we're in a small. So CIF has different areas, parochial. All these different Mount Baldy or the inland. We're in the small school. The small schools comprise like 27 schools from all over. So what they do with like Chaminade League and all the Catholic school leagues, like they're broken up every couple years. They go up and down based on how well they do. So they did this with the small school area, and we just happened to go 9-2. So we're in the Ironwood League, which is the top six schools in the small school area.
Yeah.
So we're blessed to see Aquinas.
It looks like you got
a championship, right?
Who won Division 6 and lost in the They won the regional, so they were the Southern California representative in the state championship.
So you got in the Ironwood League, you got Aquinas, and a lot of teams that you had in the Olympic, Valley Christian, Heritage Christian, Ontario Christian. Now you have Big Bear.
Yep.
Big Bear's out there, away from everybody.
Yep.
You get a lot of road trip going here.
Yep. It's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Do you play at Big Bear?
Yeah.
This year?
I just found out. Yes, we're there, but they play at the middle school.
Yeah, he's at Big Bear.
So
It's a Saturday game.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you got a couple Saturday games and you got a couple Thursday games.
We got a couple Thursday games. Yep. Our home games are Thursday. We're now playing at Glendale College, so that's going to be new for us this year. And then this Ironwood League, everyone made the playoffs last year. The entire league. You got Ontario Christian that runs the Veer. Big Bear ran the double wing last year. Offensively, Aquinas there's some bad dudes. Valley's got a new head coach, but they're successful, and Heritage is our rival. So I'm glad we get to continue the rivalry with them within our league. So it's going to be fun.
All right. So I want to step back before Valley Christian because I have to do that because you were a head coach at Burbank.
What?
Assistant coach at Burbank.
Yes.
And he is responsible for hiring us too at Burbank.
I did.
So we a part of your tree?
I hired everyone.
You hired everyone.
Because in 2008 was my first year there. I was the running backs coach. Ted Emerose, who was the head coach, he hired me. And I got a promotion in January, and he was fired in like February. And Hector Valencia, who was the JV head coach, told me to interview. And I said, this is my second year ever coaching. I don't think I'm going to get the job, but I'm down.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll interview too. So he interviewed. Of course, he got the job. He's on site there. He's great. And he just said, you get to handle the football stuff. I'll handle the operation stuff and make sure we have what we need. And it'll be our vision together. So it was a great way to teach me how to become a leader of a program, learning from him.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. In episode 1 last week, we sat down with Coach Bacon here from Montclair and found out that you hired him, and then we found out that you hired Lemus, and I know you hired me. So it's quite a I think an accomplishment of you to. I mean, you actually have a tree already.
I guess.
I guess you had. I mean,
I guess. I don't know. See, the only reason I'm talking about the tree because Bacon he tries to talk about how he found me and made me because that's just his move. So that's the only reason I go there with him.
Well, we'll get to Coach Bacon when we talk about last week's game.
Clown.
I want to talk about your family a little bit. Your brother he coaches college. The college now.
Yeah, he's at Montana Northern Lights, and.
How was it to grow up when he was playing the NFL?
Sick. It was fun. It was weird because he ruined my fandom. Like I don't have a team today because it was,
he moved around, huh?
Yeah, it was whatever team he was on. So,
how much older is he than you?
He's 13 years older than me.
Oh wow! So he's big time in front of you, but you were a little kid when he was playing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. But he got the talent. You know, he was. 10-2 and 100, 4.3 40, all Pac-10, sophomore and junior year. He was offensive player of the year in the Pac-10. Like, he was a freak.
What about you? What about you in college? Would you go play football in college?
So I played at Ontario High. I played my freshman year. I didn't play my sophomore year. I was a wrestler. And then my junior year, I came back and played. I played JV and varsity. My senior year, I was mainly a corner. Played a little running back. I started, and I played football. And then I decided I wanted to keep playing, and went to Chaffey College. Played there for a couple years. Made my own highlight tape, sent it out, and the small school in Missouri Valley College, an NAIA school, sent me an offer of basically free. And I said, where do I sign?
That's right.
And
that's what you do when you get those offers.
Yeah, and I went out and I played ball there. And it's where I fell in love with coaching in JUCO. Just my coaches were cool, and I learned a lot about the game. But I played ball in Missouri Valley. I played 2 seasons there. My senior season was cut short. And then in 2003, I came home, and that's when coaching started.
Is that what I was going to say? How much after your career ended did you start coaching? Immediately.
Yeah,
wow,
it was a one.
So you knew it. You knew you wanted to coach.
Yeah, well, because my senior year, I was supposed to play. I was supposed to get a medical red shirt for my 3rd year, and it wasn't granted, so I ended up being a GA at the school. And I just fell in love with just leading the group and helping them in the game and all that stuff. But the young side of me, the ego side of me, I couldn't finish it because I still thought I should be playing.
Yeah.
So I stopped my GA stint, finished my degree, and my brother called me while I was in line waiting for my name to get called for graduation. And I opened my cell phone, I'm waiting in line, and he says, I need you here in 2 days because you're going to be my receiver and DB coach at Diamond Ranch High School, where he had just become the head coach.
So it fell in your lap. There you go. You're a coach now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get to your roster. I mean,
Sick.
Let's talk about your quarterback, your running back. Actually, let's talk about the big men up front first.
So our offensive line. Oh no, I'm sorry. Our D line is unreal.
Okay, good.
They're fun. Right. Yeah. So we have 2 returning starters up front. Our nose guard is Oz Funk. He's about 6 foot, 200 pounds. He squats 530. He's freakishly athletic. He's a problem to block. He's kind of the key to what we do defensively. Andrew Wazo returns as a starter. He's a junior. These are both juniors. He had 10 sacks last year for us as a sophomore.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Long kid, motor, tough. Had a quiet day last week, mainly because when you do your job, they run away from you. And then we got a rotation of Colin Farberger, who plays off the line for us, and then probably the most freakish kid we have in our program, Rudy Perez, who's moved from linebacker down to like a stand-up DN, and he's as he would say, he's a menace. He's tough. He gets after it.
So let's talk about what about the center? Who's the center?
Our center this year is Jacob Curtis. He's got a 4.0 GPA. He's a sophomore. His dad is Matt Curtis, former head baseball coach at USC. He's a great kid. He's doing a good job. up front for us.
Did you get all their names? Because I want their names out because you never hear about the offensive linemen.
Our left tackle is Geert Kazex, 6'3", 275. He was a freshman on that 2-8 team.
Okay.
Who hated me in football every single day because he wasn't 6'3", 275. He was like,
wow. So he grew into that over the 4 years. So good. Yeah, that's great.
And then our left guard is Tom Henderson. He's a senior as well. Garrett and Tom are seniors. He had a great game. Our right guard, we got a little competition going on. We're trying to figure out who that was. Noah Israel, who's new to football, started for us at right guard. We're going to have a little competition this week. We'll see who that's going to be. We got a freshman, Robert Macias, who's going to be a problem. He just needs to, figure out high school football. And then our right tackle, Colin Farberger, who also plays some D line for us too.
Okay, so you got a couple transfers in for receivers.
Yeah,
from Burbank.
We got some heat. We got some heat at receiver. We've been blessed to just to get some kids in who want to be a part of our culture. So the returner, before we get to the transfer, Ryan DeLutri had a heck of a game.
Yes, he did.
Heck of a game. Over 100 yards receiving. He even scored on a jet sweep. He really kind of put the team on his back in the second half and kind of changed the game for us. So our receivers, Jag Richer, All Pacific League last year, came to us and
he's a good one
and has done nothing but exceed expectations. He's been a great teammate, and he showed out. He showed out last night. Scored our first touchdown of the game. Had 8 catches. I think we targeted him 16 times. So he had a really good game. JP Jonathan Powell's he's our other slot opposite DeLutri. He scored on a kick return to open the second half.
He went 90 yards.
Yeah, it was sick.
It's a good way to start the second half.
Oh my gosh, I was expecting to call some plays, but
especially when you're in a close game.
Yeah, and he just came out and just opened it up for us. And then he scored a long touchdown on 4th and 15 because we don't punt. So
I was going to get to that.
So we caught a nice little fake screen, and he was wide open and scored. So yeah, our receiving core, we have a 6'3" basketball cat, Zoe Olalade, who's new to ball, but I think he's going to be something special.
Okay. Anybody else you want to mention here? You have the running back? Who's toting around?
So we got a 2-headed monster. We got Logan Everett, our return from last year. He rushed for 1,300 yards. And then we have transfer from Cathedral, Brayon Crawford, who's got a Brown offer, 6'1", 190, can do it all. Great receiver out the backfield. And he plays safety for us.
I was going to say, you playing him on defense?
Man, yeah, yes. He's our enforcer on the back end. He's coming downhill. Our Matt Keller is a junior, 5'11", 205. He is it. He had 8 tackles, led our teams in tackles for losses. We don't really call anything. He makes all the calls.
Nice.
We're based on formation and tendency. So he basically he manages the defense.
You guys anybody on Chaminade that does that?
I have a safety. A safety who kind of does that, but
yeah. But all the calls come from the sideline, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
I want to get. You mentioned you don't punt. I want to get into some of your coaching strategies and how you've have developed over the years from Burbank to here.
Yeah.
You mentioned you don't punt.
No.
What happens when it's 4th and 20 or so? What do you do?
All right. So here's a great example. It's the second drive, and we're in our end. We're on the 5, and it's 4th down. We punt the ball. We quick kick it, and it goes 15 yards. I'm mad because I could have called a play.
Yeah, and you might have got more yards than that.
Yeah, we got to stop, and it was fine. But we don't punt because I think I have a better play than giving the ball away. I think that we have enough scheme in what we do and enough weapons to.
Is it because do you have that confidence in your defense too because you don't punt?
No,
it's just an offensive mind where I'm not going to punt because I have a better chance maybe I'm running the play.
Yeah, I mean, and we're playing 4-down football. We're not playing 3-down football, right?
Yeah.
So if it's 2nd and 10, I'm not tripping if we pick up 5.
Yeah, so if you go in on 1st and 10 and you're knowing you're going on 4th down, you make plays.
Yeah.
Calls a little different than what you would.
And it makes I think I'm more aggressive now because we play 4-down football. So 1st down can be a shot play. So and then I have 3 more downs just like everyone else.
Yeah.
So you have a special package for 4th down plays?
No.
You just run off.
Play. Call
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So do you run more of a with those receivers you got? You run a spread?
Yeah, we've been spread based for.
You guys ever go into like a power or anything? You got a running back you run over power?
Yeah, we do. We have some 11 personnel stuff. We got some tight end bodies.
Even further, let's talk about kicking off.
Yes, my favorite thing to talk. Now, this was the favorite thing I love talking about. Onside kicks. I don't know why people don't do it more.
Well, you seemed like you have a successful track record with it. You got 2 last week.
I'm all in, yes.
And so is just being all in and kicking onside, and you. Yeah.
We stole 2 possessions. It changed the entire trajectory of the game.
You know, I get what you're talking about because as a special teams coach at Burbank, I've given in kicking the deep end because you got a chance to get the pooch. I pooch more than I do onside.
If I don't have a dude that can kick it in the end zone, which we don't,
that's the thing.
It changes it.
So what I did was during COVID, we all had time at home. So I was doing my football nerd thing, and then I found that coach who never punts at Pulaski Academy in Arkansas, Kevin Kelly, and I just started reading up on him and his reason and his rationale for why he doesn't punt and why he goes for 2 and why he onside kicks. And I was like, well, the COVID season, no one really cares. What are we playing for? Let's do it. Now, I didn't do any research on kicks or anything. I just said, let's just do it. It was not smart.
Well, I mean, as a head coach, you have to have a philosophy on how you're going to do things. I know this has changed over the years because when I used to coach with you. Yeah. Now, you seem like you have you're happy with it and you're having a good track with it. So you go with what works.
Yes.
I mean, so how, I mean, over the so it's been 2 years. But you've probably had this philosophy. Generally, how did you get 1 a game? You get 2 a game? So
the metric that I look for is 20%. I want to recover 20% of our kickoffs. So last year we were at 16.8% of our kickoffs.
That's pretty close.
That we recovered, and so I'm just shooting for a goal. So after this game, we're at 30% right now of our kickoffs we recovered that were onside kicks.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't always onside kick. You know, we have like 8 different kicks that we do.
Okay.
That we deploy on a game to game basis, just depending on what the kicker or kickers, because we have multiple, how well they're kicking them during the week.
It is definitely outside the box, but it's commendable to me.
You have to create an edge somewhere. We're a small school. I'm trying to put our kids in the best situation to win. They're all in. See, and our kickoff team is all dudes. Like they're like, I want on. I want to be on.
See, that's half the battle in high school football is getting those kids to buy into special teams.
Dudes, and they want on the kickoff team because they know that. And I love when we recover onside kicks. So and it changes. It can really change the momentum of a game. You should see the teams that we play. We've seen more teams onside kick against us. I've seen more teams try to go for it on 4th down because they got to press now to keep up with what it is we're doing.
You also got to practice that, which takes a lot of time.
Takes a lot of time. Not a lot of time to practice special teams, and
you ain't got to worry about the offense and defense.
Yeah. So let's talk about Friday night with Coach Bacon and Montclair.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys know each other.
Well,
you've hired Bacon.
It's my guy.
Is that your first time playing against him?
Never
coaching against him.
We've coached once against each other. When he was at Covina, we scrimmaged them.
But head coach.
Yeah, no.
All right, so there was a bet there, I guess.
Oh yeah.
About the onside kick. So tell us about that.
So our first two did not get, and then the third one to open after we scored on the kickoff return, we did not get, and then we proceeded to get the next two in a row.
So you won the bet. So you get steak dinner.
I get steak and chicken. Hopefully,
okay.
Do you choose
we got two.
the restaurant?
Yeah, you get to choose.
I mean, we haven't talked about that. All right. He didn't answer my call yesterday, so he called me back. But
so Village won 42-13.
Yes,
it was a close game at halftime. What was it, 12-7 at half?
12-7.5, yeah.
And what happened in that third quarter for this to end up 42-13?
We were able to run the ball a little bit more. We established a run game. Defense did their thing. I think they just kind of stifled their offense. And then we were able to just, it was cool to watch our freshman quarterback just get better as the possessions happened. He just executed just as the game went along. He got better. So that was honestly the most important part of why we in the two onside kicks. I mean,
so 1-0.
1-0.
I wish Coach Bacon was able to be here today. He wasn't able to be here because I don't know, but it's all good. I wanted to have these guys have a little banter back and forth, and I think it would be kind of cool to have coaches from each side on after a game. But was there any banter during the game? Were you guys seeing each other across the field, or?
I know I yelled at him a few times across the field. I let the ref know beforehand because those refs were trying to ref it pretty tight as the first game.
I was like,
look, I know this guy. I may yell something from across the field a few times. So
was there a handshake?
Of course, it was a hug, man. That's my guy, man.
LaSalle. That's who you got next.
Yeah.
LaSalle has owned one. They lost to Brentwood 41-0 on Friday.
That Brentwood program is solid. You know that.
Yep, but Burbank will be playing Brentwood. We lost to them last year, and we'll be playing them in a couple weeks. Canoga Park.
Yep.
Cantwell Sacred Heart of Mary.
We played in the playoffs last year.
Okay. You guys got Pomona then?
Yep.
You got Aquinas, Big Bear, Ontario Christian, Heritage Christian, then you end up with Valley Christian.
Yes, sir.
That's a strong schedule for you guys.
Some people,
with adding Aquinas there,
some people would chuckle at our schedule.
Well, it all matters is you guys and your schedule.
I'm fine with. I love our new league. I think it's going to help us, develop our program and help us, see how we can develop our talent even more, and it's going to be cool, and it will allow us to schedule up during preseason to get us ready for an Aquinas. So yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I'm hoping maybe you are able to battle Coach Bacon in the playoffs again sometime.
Yes, that would be fun.
Well, I want to thank Coach Richard Broussard for joining me and Coach Lemus in the Coach's Corner. We will be right back with the Roundtable. We will talk about Week 0 and Week 1.
Sweet. Thanks.
Welcome, guys. Talkin Ball with Buckeye Rob.
Talkin Ball with Buckeye Rob.
Welcome back to Talkin Ball with Buckeye Rob. I'm your host, Rob Ashby. Just a little introductions. We're going to go to the Roundtable here. We're going to talk about Week 0, the scores and what happened on Friday night, and then we'll look ahead to Week 1 this Friday. Introductions, we got Manny Lemus, the defensive coordinator for Chaminade. Got Jim Reggio from myburbank.com, and of course, head coach from Valley Christian, Mr. Richard Broussard. All right, guys, let's look back at Week 0 scores. We had a good week on Friday of starting out the high school football season here in Southern California. First impressions, what sticks out to you? What team sticks out to you the most?
I think there were a lot of upsets, or a lot of, but then there were also a lot of good games. It seemed like there were a lot of good games just across the board. I mean, anytime you see lots of scores that were decided by an extra point or a 2-point conversion, that shows that a lot of teams are at the same level, which is good. I mean, it makes it exciting for the fans and exciting for the kids, and the kids know that one little mistake can be the difference in the game.
Yeah, Lemus, with the exception of Chaminade, Ron?
I would say from what I've seen on videos, the crowd was very enthusiastic to be back to watch high school football, probably post-COVID for the first time in the last 2 years.
I noticed that too. It was we had some full crowds. Maybe COVID's not a big issue anymore, but Brew, what about you? Is there any game that sticks out that you were surprised about the score or what happened in the game?
Honestly, I was surprised by the Chaminade Oaks score. I thought it'd be a wider margin. That's just me.
Well, you guys had a 24-7 lead?
It was 24-7, yeah, and then we kind of let momentum get away from us, and they caught momentum, so it was kind of hard to regain it. I mean, we lost our starting corner after the first play of the game.
Oh man, that's
yeah. So there was a lot of moving parts after that. So
okay, so let's talk about Michigan League. So Chaminade ends up winning 24-17 over Oaks Christian. Bishop and Mott, they opened up the season here on Thursday against Valencia with a big victory, 29-6. Sarah, 26, Orange Lutheran 27. So Sarah takes the defeat against the Trinity League. Got J. Sarah, 31, Sierra Canyon 17. Was that a shock to you guys?
No.
Yeah.
I've been watching that tape since Friday night, since we got the film, and I was surprised about it. But I mean, Sierra Canyon was playing very physical football, so I mean, I'm just surprised at the score.
Alamany takes the L. They lose 49-20 against Lone Peak. You got a Utah team. So we'll see how they end up. We were talking about them last week. And the last one, Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame 45, Crespi 7. Was that a surprise to anybody?
That was a surprise to me. I didn't.
Bruce over here saying no.
No, Crespi's young. They're starting a bunch of freshmen. They're kind of rebuilding. So no, and the Notre Dame quarterback's legit. So
yeah,
but he's good. So
okay, so let's move on to any other aspect about Mission League. You guys, Jim, anything?
I mean, it's obviously a very competitive league, and you're always going to see those teams well prepared, and but obviously sometimes you're going to see occasionally you'll see when a team is young, like Coach said, I know Crespi's not in the Mission for football, but they are, I believe, for everything else. And so, you'll have times where you'll be down for a year or so, but you will never see a team, one of those schools that's down for a long time.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the Foothill League. I already mentioned Valencia took the W against Bishop. We got Canyon pulled a victory over Canoga Park.
Oh.
You guys play Canoga Park?
We do.
Yeah, that's coming up. Saugus 17, Rio Mesa 14. Castaic loses to Adelanto.
Yeah.
26-7.
Okay.
We actually have Castaic in a couple weeks.
It's their first varsity season.
First varsity season, yeah.
Sweet.
Hart takes the L. They lose to Camarillo 35-17, and Golden Valley takes the L as well, losing to Newberry Park 38-21. I left out West Ranch because they pulled a big W against St. Francis. We talked about that game last week. I think I was the only one that took West Ranch.
Yes.
Look at you.
I think I said if they get that quarterback going, Ryan, I think they would win. I think he threw 6 touchdowns and scored on another one. So I think he accounted for 7 total. So anything come out of the Foothill? What do you guys think? West France is obviously beating San Francisco.
The Saugus game I was keeping up to date with, and that was a big comeback by them. They were down 14-0, I believe.
Okay.
They came back to pull that off.
Jason Bourne. That dude can coach, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get Jason Bourne to get in here, coach, and talk with us.
He's awesome. Village grad.
He's in his 20th year at Saugus.
Village grad. So,
he's a Village grad.
Yes,
wow,
he is.
Okay. It was good. You know, you got Canoga Park Canyon beat him 28-6. So that's.
I gotta see that tape.
You gotta watch that tape.
I gotta see what's going on over there, man.
Let's move to the Pacific League now. Everybody in the Pacific League lost this week.
What?
Mir gets shut out 10-0 against Northview. Canyon Springs out of Las Vegas beats Arcadia 18-14. West beats CV 14-7. That Pasadena Lucerna game was a big one. So Lucerna pulled the victory in 15-14.
Right.
And then Dos Pueblos came down from Goleta and beat Burbank 22-19 and a heartfelt heartbreaker 45-yard field goal with no time on the clock. Probably might be one of the best ends of week 0.
Yeah.
I mean, for them. But
45.
What do you think, Jim? You were there.
It was a great football game, and even the coach at Dos Pueblos even said it was a great public school football game. The two teams were very evenly matched. There were very few penalties. I counted only one penalty that was for more than 5 yards. So that was I don't know if the referees forgot to bring their flags or not, but it seemed like it was a good smash. Everybody was playing tough, and kids were going both ways. I mean,
it was back and forth. Back and forth.
And people were, and some people on Twitter were saying, "Oh, well, they were blaming the trainers. These kids are cramping and stuff." And I was like, and I wrote back and I said, "No, I said, these kids are going. These kids were. There was only maybe 25 kids per side, and it was like these kids are going both ways. I mean, there were some kids that were just on both sides.
Every first game.
There was
the kids getting ready.
There were kids that were just really Zach Estrada for Burbank. That was just an incredible effort. I mean, that's something. Yeah. That's something that I could see. I've seen kids do that in the Burbank Burroughs game, but that kid, like, literally in the third quarter, at one point, I could see that this kid was just like wanted to take over the game by himself, and he carried the ball a few times, and it was like, I could see that he was making that second effort. He wasn't good. If someone hit him, he wasn't going to go down. He was going to try to make that second effort. And
that's the one thing with Zach. He's he's not going to go down on one guy.
Right.
One hit. He's not going down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game was. We were back and forth. It was tied 19-19 with less than. Burbank scored with a little over 2 left. And what was really we stopped them, and it went to 0-0. They put 1 second back on the clock and lined up with 45-yard field goal, and the kid just nailed it down. It would have made it from 50.
Yeah, and it was, the interesting thing was a couple of things. I did speak to someone else down on the field, because I was up in the press box asking about the time element, and he said that they did call a timeout with 1 second. He said that he clearly saw that there was a second left.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't. What can you do?
Right.
You do, so.
The second thing, the coach from Dos Pueblos told me that, and this was the kicker, who was a very fine kicker, obviously, to kick a 44-yard field goal under pressure. He's also one of the kids that is part of the Chris Saylor camps. So so he was familiar with the field and had already kicked at Memorial Field before.
Yeah, but earlier in the game, they lined him up from 42, and he shanked it.
He did have one.
Wasn't even close.
He had one that he missed. Yes,
we're kind of hoping it's happening again, but they pulled the victory. And we go on to week 2.
Yeah.
Week 1, I should say. But anyway, so and Burroughs didn't play this week, so
they did not. No,
they did not play.
They will open up on Friday against Fillmore.
What about the Pasadena Lucerna game?
Saw an interception at the end of the game by one of our former quarterbacks. That's all I took from it. And, I don't know anything else.
I think I saw that Pasadena was up 14-2 in the first half.
Yeah,
and
that was a Friday night game, right?
That was a Friday night game.
So I just saw the ending on Twitter. And I was like, wow. I didn't think it was going to be that close, but
they were down some guys.
Pasadena?
Dina was. So Braylon Brooks didn't play from Loyola. Camden Jones from Maranatha didn't play.
Okay.
I don't think Michael McGavin played from Notre Dame.
So they didn't clear.
They were down some guys.
So they're going to be down the first 5?
I don't think so.
Oh, no, okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, so they just didn't play, okay.
I think maybe paperwork may be tied up at the central office.
Yeah.
And I'm close to the staff over there. Some of the guys over there I'm close with. They just said defense played well. They had 6 picks.
I read that too. That's to get 6 picks in the first game, opened up against
a really good team too.
A really good team.
That Lasagna program is their top tier.
You got to looking out for Pasadena's defensive backfield this year.
Yeah, we threw 7-on-7 against them. It's good.
Yeah,
it's not fair. It's ridiculous.
All right, let's move on to the Rio Hondo League. Monrovia, Bonita, 36-35 in OT. Did you guys hear how they won the OT? What happened in OT?
Did not hear about that one.
Well, Bonita scored to tie it, and the running back spiked the ball. Penalty, move it back. The extra point was missed, and that's how Monrovia pulls the victory. So they probably went on with double OT. Yeah, that's how Bonita.
I'm sorry.
But you survive how you survive, but that's what happened there. Let's go. Monrovia's, they got a good team this year.
Yeah,
they got a good team, and it's I guess you have to have that luck in a season to move on. And so La Cañada 56, Rosemead 26. South Pasadena 28, Lincoln 7, Polytechnic 27, Francis Parker 52, and San Marino 33, Norwalk 55. Who's coming out of Rio Hondo?
Monrovia.
Yeah. You think La Cañada can give him a game this year?
No. That team is
Temple City did not play. So.
Okay, understood.
So
Monrovia is easy.
Yeah, it's
I watched the championship game, that 7-on-7 tournament with Pasadena and Monrovia. I kind of hung out and watched. That Carlos Hernandez kid is the real deal.
Yeah, we talked about him last week. And he made a one-handed grab against us in a 7-on-7 that you don't see every day. So
he's just a fiery competitor.
Yeah,
it is kind of unfortunate that Monrovia isn't in the same league with Mir and Pasadena, because I think some of those matchups would be dynamite. They really would be.
Agreed.
And it makes more sense for all of them. I personally have heard one of the reasons why they're not. There were some off-the-field incidents, but we're going back decades.
Yes.
We're going back decades, maybe like 35 years, that there were some issues.
Well, they're right there next to Arcadia, too.
Exactly. But, and there was, so because of those incidents from 35 years ago, that's the reason why they don't play. Now, I'd like to hope to think that things have changed and gotten better since then. So they can play, because as I said, it makes total sense for those teams to be playing each other.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's look. Let's put the week 0 to bed. I mean, does anybody? Anything else about week 0 come to mind? We can move on to week 1 and talk about the schedules, the games ahead, and see what's going on. Let's stay in Rio Hondo. Monrovia's they're at home against Arcadia, which we were talking about. They're right next to each other. They should be playing each other.
Yeah, and I mean that should be Monrovia should be the heavy favorite there, and I mean. I would, Monrovia is a much smaller school enrollment-wise than Arcadia, and
Arcadia's young too. They got a lot of holes to fill from last year.
And Arcadia is, very strong in a lot of sports. Football isn't their strongest, and I think, for that reason, I would think that Monrovia should really look at this as a chance to really put their stamp on, hey, we're here.
Hey, let's before we get into next week, I want to since Coach Bruce here,
Hey.
let's cover his league team. We got Ontario Christian playing St. Marguerite's. They won 35-7. Aquinas won 28-21 at Attawanda. Harvard Westlake loses to Heritage Christian 21-20. And I'm not sure who won the Big Bear game. Did you hear it?
They played
Victor Valley.
They played yesterday.
Yeah, they played yesterday.
I didn't look.
So there's your league. There you go.
So we scrimmaged Harvard Westlake. So
you did? Okay.
Yeah. So we knew what they kind of had going for them. So it's good for Coach Huff and the Warriors of Heritage Christian to start their season. They're young. They've had to replace a lot of people. So it's cool for them to come out and start their season off with a win. Aquinas beat a tough program in Attawanda.
They won last year. What?
Yeah.
Did they?
Far.
They went deep in the
so the biases. I think Bob Bias was my OC at Chafee College.
Wow, really?
I think he's the OC over there with his brother. He's the head coach. He asked me to come out there and coach when I was in between jobs between Burbank and Village. Oh yeah, not crazy. And then Ontario Christian, man, telling you, spent a lot of time worrying about who's got the quarterback and who's got the pitch man.
Yeah.
Getting ready for that game. So.
Okay. So let's look ahead. Week 1. Covered Monrovia Arcadia. Temple City is at Mark Keppel, who Hoover kind of beat pretty bad last week.
Yep.
San Marino versus Arroyo. South Pasadena is at Mayfield. La Cañada is at Norwalk. And Polytechnic is at San Gabriel. Yeah, La Cañada at Norwalk.
No, I saw Norwalk on tape from got a couple buddies over at San Marino and double wing.
Still,
that's this early in the season. That's hard to get ready for. So
yuck.
Yeah, we talked last week about that Richard Penny game. Look at him now; he's still flourishing in the NFL.
Yes.
So, anyways, let's move on to Foothill League. West Branch is at Buena. Saugus is at Moore Park. How's Moore Park this year? We played them a couple years, and they are, obviously when.
I don't think they're the same.
Yeah, I don't think
Drake London's not.
Drake London's not Drake London.
I still.
That's why I'm asking how they are this year. Yeah. Canyon versus Wainimi. Castaic at Royal. Valencia versus Quartz Hill. That's a good one. Hart at Oxnard, and Golden Valley at Antelope Valley. What do you got out of that one?
Jeez.
Some good ones there.
Yeah. Golden Valley, Antelope Valley is going to be a good one.
That should be.
In the Valencia, Quartz Hill. That's at Valencia. So.
Burbank played at Quartz Hill. I was at in the mid-90s, and I remember that place, it's probably changed. I haven't been up there since then, but probably about 27, 28 years ago, and it can get pretty cold, even early in the season. It gets pretty cold up there, and I was up at Quartz Hill also once. Burroughs had a playoff soccer game up there, and it was, let's just say that I didn't have to close the door to the press box. Mother Nature did it. And I wouldn't have been able to cover the game on the field because I wouldn't have been able to write anything because my notepad would have been probably, in 100 different places, probably one sheet on every, yard of the field.
Okay. Let's move to the Mission League.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who's Shama got this week?
We got Jay Sarah.
Yeah,
Trinity League team. Week 1, and it's they're a tough opponent just by looking at their film already. I'm not making any predictions this week like I did last week, but
are you guys home or away?
We're home. This is our last home game, and we're on the road after that. Yeah. They got to drive from Orange County, so that helps us out.
That does. It does. And it's always good to have your home field and home stands.
How big are they on field?
They got some big guys up front. The running back runs tough.
How's their quarterback?
Quarterback's good. Just they're more of a passing running team, so they do a lot of different stuff as far as formations go. So we just got to line correctly and tackle well, and I think we match up pretty good with them.
How are they on defense? If you really watched their defense,
No,
you probably
I haven't watched that side of the ball.
Yeah.
I just know that. I mean, just watching the Sierra Canyon tape, the running back delivers a blow when he's going downhill. He's not gonna juke you. He's going straight for you. So
well, you should expect that. It's a Trinity League team. You're going to get a Trinity League running back.
Yeah, so it's a good matchup for our second week of the season and gets us ready for league. So just gotta have a good week of practice.
So no prediction.
No prediction. No. Maybe by Wednesday
Brew, do you have a
text
prediction?
That Trinity League is a whole other world.
Yes, it is.
But I believe in my guys over there in Chaminade, so I'm picking Chaminade to upset J. Sarah.
There we go. I'll take Chaminade too. Right. I'll take Chaminade. I'll roll with Chaminade.
In my guys.
Now, Jim, he might not take Chaminade. He's a Trinity League guy.
No, I certainly wish the best for Chaminade. We've got there's a lot of connections to Burbank on that Chaminade coaching staff, and I know they're doing an outstanding job taking the reins from Coach Croson, and anything can happen. I mean, Chaminade's talented enough to be able to win that game, even if given the fact that J. Sarah did win an impressive game this past week. Chaminade did as well. I mean, you don't beat Oaks Christian without knowing what you're doing, and so
that's a tough couple games for a first-year coach in Machuga.
Yeah,
God, to have those two right off the bat. That's other games: Bishop Amat versus La Habra, Sherman Oaks Notre Dame versus Birmingham, Alemany versus Lincoln of San Diego.
Oh, Lincoln! But
yeah,
I'm making my prediction. Lincoln.
Yeah,
Lincoln.
Isn't that Marcus Allen's alma mater, I believe? I think that says enough. Yeah.
Sierra Canyon versus Oaks Christian.
Yeah, we just trade opponents from each week. I can see Sierra Canyon winning that game.
And Sarah at Long Beach Poly.
Ooh, okay, so that one...
That's a game of the week right there. I mean, it's one of them.
That's going to be a great game.
Just from having them in our league, that's one game I've always watched on our scout film. And
Long Beach?
Yeah, Long Beach and Sarah.
Yeah.
That game it's always physical and just athletes everywhere. I don't know who to... That's a draw.
you got Lincoln taking down Alemany, huh?
Yeah. They have
They have dudes?
Yes.
I think they have a running back, don't they?
They
just a stud.
They got dudes everywhere on that team. It's unreal. So one of the linebackers from Sierra Canyon, Micah Valenzuela is down there. They're starting Mike now, and we've been talking. He's like, Coach, I've never been around this much talent. And he just left Sierra Canyon.
Wow.
So,
oh, yeah.
He's like, it's ridiculous.
What about Sherman Oaks Notre Dame at Birmingham?
Sherman Oaks.
You think they pull it
I
out?
think Sherman Oaks pulls that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to Pacific League. Burbank versus Santa Fe. Play them on Thursday night.
Rematch of
playoff game quite a few years ago.
So, we played them in my first year there. We played Santa Fe. We upset them in the first. Was that the first round?
Second round, wasn't it?
So before I hired you guys.
Oh, you okay.
Before I hired you guys, my first year with Amorosi in 2008, we were like the 15th seed. They were the 2, and we went and we beat them. And then we played West Covina after that, and that was
it.
No bueno.
All right, so Burbank, Burbank, Santa Fe. That's on a Thursday night game. Anyway, so let's. Arcadia's at Monrovia. We covered that. Pasadena at Glendora. Ooh, that's a hard one to come off to a loss to Lucerna.
Glendora lost this past weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they did.
Where's that game at?
It's at Glendora. It's Citrus College.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a tough opening act after Lucerna come back with Glendora.
Glendora always has a solid program every single year.
What is it, St. Poi?
St. Pius.
St. Pius, I'm sorry. Okay, St. Pius at Mir.
Oh, Pius about the boat race now.
But
I'm saying it now.
Mir got shut out last week, as we said, against Northview.
Yeah, Pius they were closed for quite a few years, and then they brought it back. I don't know, probably in the last 10 years, but I know when they closed in the 90s. It was Pius X to the St. Matthias. They merged. It was Pius X was an all-boys school. St. Matthias was an all-girls school. They came, then St. Matthias continued, but then Pius X didn't. Now they came back a few years ago, and I don't know much about them, but I do know that they were, a decent program, back in the day.
Finish out the Pacific Lake CV is at home versus Eagle Rock, and then Burroughs is at home versus Fillmore. What do you got about? You got anything on Burroughs? First game they didn't play last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen Burroughs. I hear they're kind of young, but it sounds like they've got a good group of young players. Although
they had a lot of seniors that left from last year's game.
Yeah, I understand there was 2 kids that are vying for the quarterback job, but I think they're both underclassmen, and they seem to be, decent kids. So I expect it will be a nice competitive game. And Fillmore's been kind of up and down, and but Fillmore's had some years where they've done okay. So I think it's a good matchup.
Yeah. So they're at home on Friday night.
Correct.
We're at home on Thursday night, Burbank. I wanted to bring up a couple other games. Charter Oak, because our boy Mark the Shark. Charter Oak is at Northview. That's a good game.
Oh man,
that's going to be a good one. It's Charter Oak's first game. So
this is at Covina.
Yeah.
The district field?
I believe so.
Love that place.
Yeah.
Love that place.
I think it might be a Thursday night game too, if I recall. The other one is Adewanda at Ayala.
Oh,
that could be a good one there.
I would think the Etawanda's probably a little bit stronger. I would think some of those teams from Rancho Cucamonga they're usually very, very strong.
St. Francis at Mira Costa.
That's a rematch, I think, from the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And they played each other in the regular season. They're usually kind of like a regular. Mira Costa's for a public school, they're one of the better public schools out there. I mean, both football, academically, all the way around. Obviously Manhattan Beach is a wonderful community. Got great athletic programs across the board, and and they can compete with private schools because it's a school that people want to send their kids to. I mean,
and the last one I want to bring up that I think would be a good game is Orange Lutheran versus Upland.
Oh yeah,
could be a good
That's
one.
Gonna be a game.
Thoughts? Anything on week 1 to come up?
That Charter Oak Northview game is gonna be awesome.
Wait, let's run through. Which game? The Charter Oak Northview.
That Charter Oak Northview game is gonna be really good.
And then of course you guys got LaSalle this week.
We have LaSalle. Yes, we are playing LaSalle. At home on Thursday at Glendale.
Oh, you're playing it Thursday too?
Yes.
Okay, good.
At Glendale Community College.
Where are you guys playing your home games now?
Glendale Community College is our new venue for the 2022 season. Dope. It's going to be a fun place to play. New atmosphere. New facilities. We get locker rooms and stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. And LaSalle, we played them last year. They were our season opener, and we recovered 2 onside kicks in that game. And the Charter Oak quarterback, Richie Munoz, was their quarterback there. I think.
We were supposed to play them last year.
We got after them. I think we sacked them like 6 times. We had a good time. It was a fun game, back and forth, high scoring. This year they have a nice quarterback. They got some big dudes up front. Very aggressive defensively. Their skilled kids are very good. So I think it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so and final thoughts on week 1 or week 0?
Well, I just think that, obviously, it's great to see that the kids are back and playing, and people are filling the stands, and as I mentioned earlier, when you see close games, that's good to see. I mean, and that brings more excitement. People don't want to watch a game if it's 62-0, or
Yeah.
But anytime when you get games that are decided by less than a touchdown or even less than 10 points, that keeps the excitement. That keeps people in the stadium. That keeps people wanting to come back and watch more. And it's good for football and good for the kids and communities and everyone involved.
It's good that high school football is back. Lemus, you got any parting?
Yeah, there's a lot of talent down here. That's evident just by watching highlights and being in the game we were at. There's a lot of talent in the area and all of Southern California. So you get good football down here.
Yeah, especially you guys, week in and week out in that Mission League, you guys got dudes on each side of the ball on every team. So lastly, I want to cover each week. I'm going to come up with a player of the week, and this week's player of the week is Ryan Staub, quarterback from West Ranch, Colorado commit. They hosted St. Francis, and they won 61-41. He was 16 for 24 for 331 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Jeez.
6 touchdowns, and he also he ran one in, so he accounted for 7 for the night. So there's a reason why they beat St. Francis like that. So congratulations to Ryan. I tried to get a hold of him and get him on the show, and it was a quick comeback from Friday night to now. But he is our player of the week. And I also want to do a shout out to an out-of-state fellow. My nephew, North Canton Hoover, pulled the victory in a 35-21 over Akron Buchtel, and it's actually, you remember Ricky Powers?
Yeah.
He was a coach there, but he's not there anymore. But he was a coach at Akron Buchtel. But he had a pretty outstanding night. Mason Ashby, 250 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns, and he took 199 yards the first kickoff of the second half, and to break it open. So I'm pretty proud of him, and he had a good night. So I wanted to do a little shout out for him because I can, I guess. So,
yeah.
So and congratulations to the Vikings of North Canton. So guys, I just want to extend a thank you to both of you guys and Brew for stopping in and talking to the Coaches Corner and the Roundtable and talking ball with Buckeye Rob.
Yep.
Thanks for showing.
Thanks for
thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Talkin Ball with Buckeye Rob.
Buckeye.
Talkin Ball with Buckeye Rob.
Buckeye.